Yes.
Okay. Srijit, just a small request. As I told you,
Yeah.
I'll be not available tomorrow, right? But it is not
Yes.
100%. I'm not sure about it. Okay. If you are
Okay.
going to have a
Yeah.
class tomorrow, then I will let you know 1 hour before on the same chat so that you join the session. Okay. If not, if I not
Okay.
message anything, then we will meet on when Monday. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and also, and today we are actually leaving to other city. Okay, so I have a
Yeah.
train at 11 o'clock, but I don't want to
Okay.
give a half of today. That's the reason I just connect you. So I'll explain what we are going to
Yeah.
discuss throughout the session, and then we'll discuss the curriculum. Then we'll close for the day, and I'll
Yeah.
try my best to
Yeah.
have the session tomorrow. I'll try 100% to that,
Yeah.
but it's 50-50 only. But as I'm not sure, because if I get a time there, definitely we will connect. I will let you know. If not, then we'll connect from Monday onwards. From Monday onwards, every day there will be a session. No in between. We don't without any delay or without any session, and we will just complete it. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Sure.
Okay, fine, fine. So, since you already aware of the data engineering services, but anyway, it's very important
Mhm.
for me. I supposed to follow that, so I'll just start with that, foundation. So first of all,
Yes.
so we will learn the Azure Foundation. I'm not sure whether you know it or not, but for 1 or 2 classes, I just need to make you understand the what are the services, or what is the actual architecture of Azure,
Mhm.
actual architecture that we can work for the data engineering and other services. So here in Azure Foundation,
Yeah.
uh, do you know about how Azure works and what is the actual architecture of Azure? The global architecture or architectural components.
Uh, no, no. I would require as well.
So
Yeah.
that means regions, subscription, resource group, resources, availability zones, availability set, fault domain, default domain, all those things.
Yes. I mean, I can relate to these things, but not properly aware of these things like that.
Okay, okay. So on this session, so we will
Mhm.
discuss on the Azure architectural components. Okay. So what are the components
Mhm.
and how actually the Azure is working, and Azure interfaces for user. So you can be able to create any resources with the help of any services using a graphical interface that we call as Azure portal.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
it also permits you or give you an option to do anything using the commands. So if you
Mhm.
can be a Linux guy or a Windows guy, so for a Linux people, and there will be a separate window to write a command and to create, manage, and any services or resources here. In same way, for Windows user, there will be a PowerShell window, and there also you can able to use the command to do that. But if you
Mhm.
are a beginner or intermediate, so we will prefer mostly on the GUI. Okay, but for the
Mhm.
advanced, like people, those who are in the admin tasks, admin activities, and managing activities, they will prefer to go with the command prompt only. But for the data engineering,
Mhm.
so we mostly use that GUI in order to create something. Okay, but to manage it,
Yeah.
and we will be using the command prompt. Okay, it's mainly for
Mhm.
the experienced people. They will use the command as well, because so if you use something on GUI, then you have to go click next, click on that next, and click on next. So it will take a multiple clicks to get some information. But if it is a
Yeah.
command, means you need to execute a command. The command will give you a proper required result. So,
Mhm.
if you are a Azure administrator or Azure data engineer, that means experienced data engineer, so you will not use all the commands from Azure. You will use that commands that required for your project, that required the list of commands that are required based on what services that you are using. So, for example, if you take
Mhm.
me in my organization, it is not easy to keep that all commands in mind. We will know which command to
Mhm.
use, but we may not show that what is the exact syntax, what are the options need to enter, because some are sensitive, some are case sensitive. So I do have a notepad, and there whichever commands I supposed to use and I need to use, that I'll keep it in the notepad. So whenever I need to manage something, I just copy the command, paste it on a window, and do some changes and then execute it. So that way I will use
Yeah.
for data engineers. So they will also use the commands just to manage the things, monitor the things, but to create a pipeline and to create a ETL process and to work on the data bricks on Apache server, write a code using the notebook, and for all they will use a graphical interface. If you ask me, if you go as a Azure
Mhm.
administrator or Azure solution
Mhm.
architect or Azure security engineer, you will use 60
Mhm.
percentage 60% of time you prefer to go with the commands only the 40 percentage you will use GUI. And same way, if you go as a
Okay.
data engineer, 80 percentage you will use that GUI, only 20 percentage will use a commands. Okay. So here we will see
Yeah.
which are the interfaces are available for the user to work on the Azure platform, right? Okay,
Yeah.
and so in this architectural component itself, we will understand the subscription, region, region pair, resource group, resources, services, and availability zone, availability set. This availability zone and availability set is the one on region pair is the one is the these are the things the Azure will use to say that 99.99 percentage availability. So even no one can say it is 100 percentage always available. So Microsoft
Mhm.
ensures that your service, your resources are always available 99.999 percentage because of the because of the components called region pair, availability zone, availability set. Within availability set, you have a domains. I will explain you in detail. Okay, so that's
Yeah.
the things that we will discuss. And we also need to know the Azure data services. Which are the services that exactly we will use in order to manage the data? And also, as a Azure professional, we don't need to know in depth, but we need to understand what are the other services are available in the Azure platform, that we will see.
Yeah.
So here, when it comes to the data services, of course, we will do a um, we'll do a batch level process, stream level process, streaming process. We will do a OLTP and OLAP. So both method are there,
Mhm.
and we will see like what are the services are available to make it cost effective, and it will ensure that that's offer the scalability and high availability, that
Mhm.
we will see. So these are the things that we will learn on the foundation. Okay. So once we understand the foundation, and very important, as a data engineering professional, we need to know the three important section or three important
Mhm.
phases of data engineering process. So the first one is
Mhm.
the data storage.
Mhm.
Okay, data storage, where exactly that you need to store the data, and what exactly is data storage, how to design and implement the data storage for your requirement, like whether it is a file type or process type. Sometimes we need to run the workload, execute the workload. From that workload, you need to get something. And sometimes you need to save the metadata, sometimes you need to keep the catalogs. So we will understand the strategy to maintain, to design and implement the data storage. Okay, if you like to take a certification after this program, you can take, but 50 15 1 5 15 to 20 percentage of the exam questions based on the data storage. Because out of, for example, you are getting a 60 questions, okay, or 100 questions, 100 questions for your
Yeah.
exam. So the 20 questions are depend are from exactly from the data storage. Okay, after we understand what where we exactly store the data, and after process where we store the data, after processing the data to analyze where we store the data, all information we will discuss. Different type of storage methods, storage services, partitioning method, data explorations, and all those things that we will discuss here, whatever related to the data storage, all we will discuss here. Then data processing. So, of course, we need to get the data processed, and that after process only we can able to analyze the data. So, in this module, you will understand how we can design and implement the data processing, like how to get a data injection or collection, data transformation, and for transforming the data, what are the services are available, like Apache Synapses, streaming, stream analytics, data factory, pipelining, Apache Spark. Okay, and what are the other, what exactly we do when we perform a transforming, like a data cleaning. We will clean the data, we will remove the duplicates, we will identify the missing data and enter the value on the missing place, and we'll see the late data, split the data, shredding, encoding, decoding, error handling, and exploratory analysis. All those things that we will do it in the this transformation, and then we will process the data. Of course, to process the data, and we will use a different services, and there we will create a pipeline, create a batch, run that batch as a job, and validate it, we'll do a version control and manage the jobs. All those things are there in the data processing. This is a second important phase, right? So here is the
Yeah.
exactly we will step into the data engineering services. On this, we will learn only the storage related service, and for data engineering, we will mostly use that ADLS. So we will use the
ADLS. Yeah.
ADLS generation 2. The latest is generation 2. When it comes to that
Yeah.
data processing, there we will have all the services involved, because all services are required to do a processing. You need a data lake storage for storage purpose, you need a data factory for injecting the data, for collecting the data, you need a Databricks or Synapse Analytics to transform the data or process the data, and you need a Synapse Analytics to perform a data warehousing task, to analyze the data and share that analyzed data to the visualized platform or Power BI or Tableau. So in this stage, you will understand all the services. You will understand
Yeah.
all the services. Okay, it's very very important thing. And then uh, of course, this data analytics, it is part of the data processing. Anyway, just to make you to understand, I'm just keeping it in a separate section or separate phase. So data analytics,
Yeah.
because once you process the data, and the reason why exactly we are processing the data, to help our data analyst. We are engineers, we'll set up a platform, will make a data run in a smooth way, and once the data is completely processed, so that it will we will give that input to the data analyst. Data analyst will
yeah,
extract will analyze and extract the relevant data, and then they will help the management to to take a decision, to predict something, to take a decision. So data analyst will, so we as a data engineers, we need to prepare a platform to make that data analyst feel comfortable. So here we do data analytics. So people used to say that this is the three stages. These three stages are there, or that data engineers need to know. But I'm saying there
mhm,
is a one more that's very very important. We as a data engineer, since we are the one designing the data storage, we do design. We not only implement, we do design, and the designing will be
mhm,
designing will be different for a different requirement. If you maybe
mhm,
your project will ask you to design that data platform in such a way, and different project will need a platform in a different way. So it's
mhm,
also very important to know how we can secure, monitor, and optimize the data storage, data storage, data processing, and data analytics. Of course. So
yeah,
once the data is ready, then we will not allow everyone to access the data, right? So definitely
yeah,
it is not a anonymous access. It is a restricted access, authorized access. As a data engineers, we also need to know who will get that, who actually gets the permission to manage work on that, your resource. For example, I do have a notebook or data spark or data warehouse. There I need to write a query. So that query will help me to analyze it. So you just need to permit that user to run his query on the synapses. So you need to
yeah,
provide the access for that user. Then only he can use that
yes,
data warehouse and write a query and execute the query, and he can get the result. So we as
yeah,
an administrator, we do have a complete permission. That's a full permission. Okay.
yeah,
So of course, whatever we do, we use a trial license, trial subscription, and then we log in as a global admin, and we do have all permissions. So we can do anything. But in
yeah,
real time, in real scenario, we not only going to work if I am a data engineer, I'm not only going to work. There will be a multiple peoples, different teams, so different project, maybe sometimes a vendor, sometimes a client, sometimes internal users, all need to work on. Okay, and we will not give the equal permission, same permission to everyone, because each and everyone's responsibility on our platform is different. Someone needs to see what we are doing. Someone needs to manage a specific service. Someone needs to uh, get the log and analyze the log. So different
yeah,
user with a different responsibilities. So you just need to provide them the access based on what actually they want to do on the platform. So that's not only the access management. Also you need to, because we keep the data in the data storage. So once we get the data in, we will keep that in a data storage. So then after processing, we'll keep it in the data storage. So we need to make the data store secure. We need to use the data secure. We need to transfer the data secure. So for that, we will be
mhm,
using a encryption. That encryption
mhm,
model will help me to keep the data in an encrypted way, send the data in an
yeah,
encrypted way, use the data in an encrypted way. So we need to know it. And of course, we also need to know if someone is using that, your service. You are already given a
mhm,
permission for that user. So the user are permitted to only do some list of activities. Okay, but sometimes some user may try to do something which is not allowed to do. So that time we need to
Yeah.
monitor, because we are not a god. Okay, definitely when
Mm-hmm.
we configure something, we will miss something. We will miss to configure something. So that becomes the loophole for a user to access unauthorized data. They are not authorized to use it, but because we left some configuration, not some configuration without anything, or without just with a loophole, that makes that
Mm.
user get the unauthorized permission. So of course, Srijit, so if I say someone to, somebody says like
Mm-hmm.
maybe I can tell my example. I have my mom is there now. So if I tell my mom, she is
Yeah.
little old. So if I tell my mom, don't tell this one to anyone. This is keep it as a secret. Next minute, she will
Yeah.
go and say it to someone. When we say something to someone not to do it, definitely that the human mentality, force them to check
Yeah.
on it, right? That's a human mentality.
Yes.
But even though we assign a proper permission to the user, and then they will try to
Mm-hmm.
do it uncompliant things. So as an engineer,
Mm-hmm.
we should have a system to continuously monitor what they are doing, whether govern them, monitor them, whether
Yeah.
they are doing which what they have allocated to do. So that we need to monitor.
Mm-hmm.
So using monitoring, we will check on it. Even sometimes when we process the workload will be heavy. So you cannot sit there to continuously monitor it. So you need to have a
Mm-hmm.
process. So to do a streaming, you can monitor the streaming process, you can measure the performance, and you can monitor the logs, you can monitor the activities of the user. So all those things that you need to monitor. If someone is violating the what they have allocated to do, if someone is violating, you should know it. So you need to configure
Yeah.
alert. The alert will help. For example, so you are a global admin, you are saying to me, Jay, do not use this, don't do anything on this storage, right? But you configure a proper access to me, but some level, some way, some in some stage you miss to do something. That missing part
Yeah.
allow me to access the storage. So definitely I will go and
Mm-hmm.
access the storage, right? Then when I try to
Yeah.
access the storage which is not authorized for me to do, you need to get to know it. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to create an alert. Even though you are not
Yeah.
properly monitored, but because of the alert, you will get to know who is violating that, compliances, violating that, rules. So that is very, very important. That's a monitoring. And then optimization
Yeah.
is also very important, because we need to measure the performance, we need to keep on update that services, and we need to have a proper strategy to implement. So those things that we will learn at last: security, optimization, and monitoring. So these three are very, very important, because I hope you are aware of it. Data masking, role levels in, so you already in a database side, row level security,
Yeah.
column level securities are there, right? So you
Yeah.
can, because even in Excel that options are there. So you can block the
Yeah.
user to work on the specific rows. So that we
Yeah.
will,
That I'm asking.
yeah, that we will understand on it. Okay, so these
Yeah.
are the five phases that we need to understand. So whatever we do,
Yeah.
because whatever we do, everything's are under this, or all are come under this four phases. So even though
Yeah.
it's four phases, but we are going to discuss 6 to 7 very important services, because all
Yeah.
data engineerings are depend on this six services. The first services
Mm-hmm.
is ADLS, Azure Data
Yeah.
Lake Storage. Azure Data Lake
Yeah.
Storage. Second one is ADF, Azure Data Factory. and third one is
Mhm.
Azure Synapses Analytics.
Yeah.
Azure Synapses Analytics. Okay, and
Yeah.
this is
Mhm.
actually a data warehouse, and we have something called
Yeah.
Azure Stream Analytics. In order to analyze the
Yeah.
real-time data, we do have a stream analytics, and and
Okay.
very important, Azure Databricks. Okay,
Yes.
Azure Databricks in the 1 minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, so ADLS, ADF, Azure Data Factory, Azure Synapses Analytics, Azure Stream Analytics, and also when we learn the ADF, because since you,
Yeah.
I also need to cover that because okay, it's very important for me. Azure databases. There are different
Yeah.
databases are there. So SQL,
Mhm.
Cosmos DB, table storage. So all
Yeah.
those things are there. So
Mhm.
we will see this all process. So um, Azure Databricks. So when it comes to the stream analytics, not only the streaming, so stream analytics includes Azure Event Hubs,
Yeah.
Azure IoT Hubs, okay, and
Mhm.
here when it comes to the Synapse Analytics, we have a two-way dedicated SQL pool and a serverless SQL pool
Mhm.
and Apache Spark.
Mhm.
Apache Spark. When it comes to the data breaks, and there, of course, full and full Apache Spark. Still, you can use that, SQL things and uh,
Yeah.
Delta Lake. The Delta Lake
Mhm.
layer is a very important layer. So that will help us to, add a storage layer on top of that, actual storage. Um, and
Mhm.
we do have a next services, MS Entra ID for creating the user to
Yeah.
assign the role-based access. I told security, and then
RBS. Yes.
Azure Monitor,
Yeah.
Azure Policy, Azure Key Wallet. Key
Yeah.
wallet will help
Keyboard.
you to
Yes.
store the encrypted key, Azure Key Wallet,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I also need to explain you. I will not show demo, but I'll explain you
Mhm.
the Microsoft Preview. So Preview is
Purview.
the monitoring's governance. Monitoring is different than
Mhm.
governance. So for example, like
Mhm.
I'm asking you to do the task. So if
Mhm.
I'm checking whether you are doing the task, it's monitoring. Whether you are doing the
Yeah.
task as I said. Okay, I've told some
Mhm.
way, right? Just example, I've told some way to do that. So
Mhm.
doing the task is checking whether you are doing the task is monitoring, checking whether
Mhm.
you are doing the task as I said is governance. It's compliances because
Mhm.
I've told you that you need to follow this method only to do that. But there are so many
Yeah.
methods are there, right? You can try with another method also. But I told you to do only this method. So
Yeah.
verifying whether you are following what the system said. That is called as a governance. Okay,
Yeah.
they govern you, they are verify you. So we do have a tool called or service called Microsoft Preview that will help us to govern the service, whether whatever we do we actually perform what we are instructed to do. So that's the
Mhm.
purpose of the Microsoft Preview. But most important, Data Factory, Lake Storage, Synapse Analytics, Stream Analytics, Databricks, Microsoft Preview. These are the very, very important service that we should aware of it. Okay. So even
Mhm.
when we
Yeah.
discuss the Apache Spark, and there we will see the warehouse, catalogs, okay, all those things that we will discuss at the time of Apache Spark. Okay, so
Yeah.
in there in Synapses also we do have a pipeline. Some people will ask me, Jerry,
Yeah.
like you are saying like a synapses also do the same work of data bricks. Then why I supposed to use the data
Mm-hmm.
bricks? Synapses will
Yeah.
have some limitation. You cannot customize
Mm-hmm.
it because it is a Microsoft service. But Databricks,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a Microsoft service. It is integrated in Microsoft, but it is a third party service.
Yeah.
It allows you to
Mm-hmm.
customize it so that you can able to process, transform, and process any type of data from anywhere to anywhere. But Synapses
Yeah.
may have some limitation. Okay, that limitation will allow me to work for some level of some requirements only. But for any
Yeah.
requirements, you can use a Databricks.
Yeah.
Okay, and this
Yes.
is what I plan to discuss with you. So if you feel
Yeah.
like anything that you want me to cover, and of course at the end of this, and there will be a end to end project. Okay, that means you
Yeah.
need to inject the data from different sources and store it in
Mm-hmm.
a use the medallion architecture, store in the storage,
Mm-hmm.
and after that get the data for transforming and processing, then store the process data in somewhere, and then get the data to the analysis. So, injection,
Yeah.
transformation, storage, optimization, scheduling, governance, all will be included so that you will do a one complete start to the end. So if
Yeah.
you are creating, if you are doing a project on data engineering, where exactly you are starting, where exactly you are ending, so you just need to do a one final capstone one that will be there. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so I hope I have covered whatever is required for you. So if anything that
Yeah.
you want me to explain, or let me know, I will include in it. I will include in it here.
Okay. So yes, it's extensive and just like how I was expecting. So
Mm,
just one doubt I have. Like we talk about monitoring, right? Monitoring our pipelines for failures and all of those things. So
mm, mm.
you are aware that we are we are aware that we have Apache Airflow. There's a tool called Apache Airflow for
Mm,
doing this
mm,
monitoring. So
mm.
similar kind of is Azure Monitor similar kind of service
See,
for doing the monitoring?
it's for example, okay. So
Mhm.
one of my client is using Palo Alto firewall. That firewall is actually a
Yeah.
good firewall. So you can do all the
Mhm.
things on this firewall. Whatever it's you can do it, you can do. And next
Mhm.
customer, since we
Mhm.
learned we experience in Palo Alto, so we know that the Palo
Mhm.
Alto is good for the organization network, to protect the organization network.
Mhm.
So we suggest
Yeah.
another customer to use the Palo Alto to secure their network also. But that customer,
Yeah.
it's more interest on checkpoint. The checkpoint firewall
Mhm.
also will do the same thing. Okay, but both are the
Yeah.
different vendors, but their activities are same. So that customer is
Yeah.
interest to go with checkpoint, so we configure the
Mhm.
checkpoint for them. And same way,
Yeah.
you have Azure Monitor. If you feel maybe your manager or someone else felt that the Azure Monitor is not satisfying any one of their requirement, and then the Airflow
Mhm.
will do for them. Or else for maybe
Mhm.
that manager, it's more comfortable in Airflow, so that he preferred Airflow instead of the manager, instead of the monitor. Okay, so of course,
Mhm.
Srijit, like there will be a R&D team in every company, right? Microsoft also used to,
Yeah.
Azure also used to have a R&D. If Airflow
Yeah.
is offering something, definitely they will also do a R&D and update that Azure Monitor to perform the same, because Microsoft wants a company to use Azure only for completely. Then only they can earn it, right?
Yeah.
So because they don't
Correct.
want
Correct.
other other third party to come in for a small thing. So monitoring is a
Yeah.
small part. Okay, so
Yes.
how Microsoft will allow other third party to be in that, their project? They will not allow. So monitoring is there, but maybe like
Yeah.
that, the people, those who are working on the project, they are already aware of airflow, and they know that our airflow is easy for them to work on or good for them to work on. So they are using airflow. So even in the
Yeah.
Azure Monitor itself is a big topic. Okay, because
Yeah.
using Azure in the Azure platform, you can do anything. You can set up your own infrastructure there. You can have your virtual machine,
Yeah.
application, databases. You
Yes.
can customize the application. You can trigger it. Anything that you can do, all you're supposed to monitor. So Azure
Yeah.
Monitor also good. Airflow is everything
Yeah.
is good. Okay, but we will
Yeah.
take it what we interest on it. So if I'm interested on
Hmm.
specific things, then my mind will keep whatever you say about Azure Monitor, but I'm interested on a specific product, so I'll my mind will always go into the, because I told you now. So checkpoint, okay, that engine,
Yeah.
that owner, that manager always prefer to go with the checkpoint. His mindset say checkpoint is always good. So it's there. So it's
Yeah.
individual mentality, or um, it's not, we cannot say like they're not aware of the Azure Monitor, because whatever the Azure
Yeah.
Monitor will do, other monitoring tool also will do the same. Maybe one or two
Yes.
extra capabilities are there. So that person, maybe you,
Yeah.
in your company, your manager interested on that capability which the Azure Monitor is missing, so that he used it. It's up to us,
Yeah.
Srijit. So how we feel
Yes.
convenient, then we will go with the tool.
Yes. Yes. Understood.
You got it right?
Also, one more question.
Mm,
Yeah, in when we will go through Azure analytics. So,
mm,
like we know for analytics, like for a data engineer, the final goal is to give the data as an input for like maybe BA or
mm,
DA and a
mm,
data scientist.
mm, mm,
So,
mm.
will we touch on those data visualization side, because that is completely different, like right? The like Power BI, it's a different thing.
Mm,
Although that is also a Microsoft service, but that
mm.
I think that doesn't come under data engineering space. It comes under data science and analytics. So we will not be going to that one, right?
We don't go for that one. Okay. But
Mhm.
as a
Yeah.
data engineer, knowing that one is also little important. Okay.
Good.
But we will not cover that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. We will not going to cover.
Yes. Yes.
I'll show you, I'll
Yeah.
explain you how to get that, visualization of your in the
Yeah.
processing itself. Then after that, I'll let you know how you can integrate the Power BI with that and take that, the result to the Power BI. Because Power BI is just a
Yeah.
visualization tool, interactive visualization tool. It's make it
Yeah.
automatic. So it's automatic tool. So
Yeah.
whatever changes happens in that platform, since the integration is there, it will take a live and it will keep on update the live data, right? So
Yeah.
I'll explain you that integration process, but we will not go in depth into the Power BI.
Yes. Yes. That integration I need to know.
Yeah, we will do that integration, because that's the data engineering job, right? So the
Yes.
visualization,
Yes.
the data analyst job, because analysts only
Yeah.
know how they want to visualize it for their customers. Data engineers, their
Yes.
job is to integrate that, data engineering service with the Power BI. Then the analyst will use it to publish
Yeah.
it.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Right.
Yes.
So, Srijit, as I asked you,
Yeah.
so with that, I just want to close. So then only I can leave. Okay. So I'm sorry for that.
Yes. Yes.
I
Yes.
hope
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
clear
Okay.
so far, right?
Yes. Yes. It is. Yeah. Yes.
So I just copy this for this time.
Yeah.
I'm just paste that whatever we discussed on chat. Okay. So it's on chat, so you
Yeah.
can refer that.
Yeah. I will be having notes. So
Just a minute. I do have some notes with me. So whenever
Yeah.
comes in, then I will share it with you. Okay. I do have
Yeah.
documents, hands-on lab documents. Everything is with me. So I'll just share. Whenever we
Yeah.
practice something, I'll keep on share the documents with you. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, buddy. So take care. I'll let you know for
Yeah.
tomorrow. Okay. Let's
Yeah.
hope for best to meet. Okay. So I
Yes.
also,
Yeah.
because I don't want to miss anything. So even today also, I don't want to miss. That's the reason at least I can give you some 40 minutes or 45 minutes to you to, experience that, because otherwise you will feel discontinuity, right? So that's the reason
Yes.
I'll
Yes.
try my best
Yeah.
to have a session tomorrow. If not, if you not receive any message from me, so consider no session tomorrow. Okay. If I want
Okay.
to have a session, I will let you know so that you join the session.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So hope you can see my screen. So generally people will
Yes.
go
Yes.
with this way. So Azure free trial. So if you search with the Azure free trial and then see like create your Azure free account for today or something like that. So this option will come. But when you click on this, uh, they are saying like you will get a $200 of credit to use the Azure service within 30 days. So
Mm-hmm.
previously it was $100. Now here they are saying $200, but we are not sure whether we will get $200 or $100. But definitely you will get $100, but depends. Okay, depends on you. You will get
Yeah.
this one. So you can spend this $200 for 30 days. Okay, so 30 days you can
Mm-hmm.
use any services, whichever service that you use. Based on the utilization of the service, you will be that no, you will be debited. That account, your account will get automatically debited from this one. It is just a training
Yeah.
purpose or practicing purpose. But for real time, and we will go with the pay as you go model. So we will pay how much we have utilized. So at the end of the month, we will pay it. If you know that
Yeah.
you are going to use this many services only, then you can pay upfront with Microsoft for a longer period. Maybe you're going to use a particular service for 1 year. Definitely you're going to use it for 1 year, so that you can pay upfront to Microsoft for the particular service for 1 year, so that you will get a additional benefit, some discount price and discount cost and all, right? That
Mm-hmm.
all will be there. So if you go with this way, and you will just get only the Azure subscription. But
Mm-hmm.
you can go for Visual Studio. Okay, benefits. You can go for Visual Studio benefit and click on my. You can click on my Visual Studio benefit. Okay, when you
Mm-hmm.
click on my Visual Studio benefit, you will not only get that access to the Azure, you will get a same access, uh, the $200 of credit. Okay, you will get a same access, because right now I'm just logging into my subscription. See, you not only get that, Azure $200 of credit. You not only get that, you'll also get that, community version of Visual Studio, and Azure DevOps Access, and there are a lot of things. See, Power BI free plan, Power Apps, 30 days to learn, and you will get a 50% discount price to do the any certification. For example, in India, you have to spend 5,000, close to 5,500 or something,
Mm-hmm.
4,800 plus GST. But if you
Yeah.
use this option, if you use this email ID to take any exams, you'll get a 50% of discount price. So instead of 2,800, you
Mm-hmm.
just need to pay 4,000, 2,400 to pay to take any exams, and 1 month of plural site, 1 year of magazines, and this all the options that you will get. Not only this option, you can get some downloads. You'll get access to some downloads. You can download Visual Studio Code. You can use that Office 365 for 60 days. You can get Windows 11 and
Mhm.
Windows 10. You can get Windows 10 and Windows 11. See, for example, if you go for a
Mhm.
Windows 10 and see, you will get some 180 days of evaluation pack you will get. So you will get
Mhm.
multiple benefits, not only that Azure subscription, all the benefits, and also you have a product key. So if you go for a product key, see, if you are using a specific
Yeah.
Microsoft service and you will have a product key, use that, licensed version. You can use a licensed version of it. See, Office applications, project, SharePoints, System Center, Visio. So all license keys that you will get. It's free to use. Okay, for to some level you can free to use. See, so how Windows Pro license, you can
Yeah.
get that, Windows Pro license. So these are the benefits that you will get if you use that, Visual Studio subscription. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is different because this is my access. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So you can click on this. When you click on this, the first option, benefits and Azure, try Azure for free. Then it will ask some
Mhm.
information. Once you provide all the information, then it will ask you to enter your credit card or debit card with the international transaction. Okay, so they
Mhm.
will just debit 1 rupee. For some people, you just need to give the details. That's all. They will not detect any amount from your card. But for some
Yeah.
people, they will detect 1 rupee or 2 rupee just to ensure that,
Mhm.
just to verify that account, just to verify the identity. So once you get that,
Mhm.
then you will get the access to it. After that, it will jump to this window. So portal.azure.com, so that you can log in
Mhm.
into this window and you will get access to it. And there you can search for the subscription and you can see the subscription. For me, it is MSDN subscription. So you can see
Mhm.
a Visual Studio Code subscription. You'll get a Visual Studio Code
Yeah.
subscription, and then you can see how much cost it's uh, given to you, and uh, what are the services that you use, and what cost is being debited for that service. You can all use it, right? So
Yeah.
this is what we need, and after that, and we are going to use that, services. So
Yeah.
when you go for a data services, here there is an option. Okay, this is your dashboard, but you don't see this dashboard because for people who just enable the subscription, they don't see the dashboard. They will see the home
Yeah.
page. Okay, they will see the home page,
Mhm.
and there whichever service you used recently, you can see that services, and you can have a navigation as well. So these are the
Yeah.
services. These are the services, and you can click on all services. It will show you all Microsoft services, Azure services, and you can use any service and create a resource. So, for example,
Yeah.
I need to use something. I need something, so that you will use resource to create something for you. If you use some specific resource to create something for you or something for your project or something for your enterprise, that's something we called as a resource, because that is being
Yeah.
created specifically for you or for your project or for your organization. Right? For example,
Yeah.
we both assume that we both have a access to the subscription, and you create Windows
Mhm.
machine, I create Linux machine. So same service, but we are using for a different purpose. My purpose, I need a Linux machine for my requirement, and you need a Windows machine for your own requirement. But the service is a virtual machine. Service name is virtual
Yeah.
machine. Using this service, you can create a resource. So Microsoft
Yeah.
offers to access to all the resources. Okay, based on the access to the resources, you can create based on the access to the services, you can create a resource. Whatever resource that you can create based on the capacity that you configure for the resource, you will be charged. Okay, you'll be charged.
Yeah.
When you create a Windows machine, for that there will be a specific charge, and for Windows Linux machine there will be a specific charge. So for each and every service, when we create a resource with every service, based on what you configure on the resource, you will be charged. For example, I
Yeah.
create a Linux machine with 1 GB RAM, but you create a virtual machine, Windows virtual machine with a 16 GB RAM. See, the services
Yeah.
are same, but that resource what we create with a different options for a different requirement. Based on the option that we use, so we will be charged. So whenever we create a resource, okay, that interface will let you know this will be the amount. This will be the amount per hour. This will be charged. Or else, before you plan anything as a data engineer, so we used to
Mhm.
create a resources for our data purpose, data management purpose. Okay, so
Yeah.
you need to know what will be the bill amount at the end of the month, because without knowing the bill amount, if you just go in and at last if you can't pay it, then again there will be a fine and some compliance issue will come. To avoid
Yeah.
that, avoid that, before we do anything on the Azure platform, before we use the Azure platform for our project, you just need to do a analysis. What are the services that you are going to use? Okay, if you are using that specific service, and what type of resources that you are going to create, and what configuration that you are going to use on the particular resources, and what will be the rough amount. Okay, what will be that,
Yeah.
some sample or draft. Okay, some sample cost, some rough cost, so that
Mhm.
you will get an idea. Okay, this will be the cost will occur when at end of the month. So for that, Microsoft will have an option called Azure Runbook. Azure Runbook. Okay, oh sorry, Azure calculator. Okay, Azure pricing calculator. So when you click on the
Yeah.
pricing calculator, and then it show you all the service categories. If you click on compute,
Mhm.
here it show all the services which belongs to the compute. If you click on analytics, so here see
Mhm.
Microsoft Fabric, Synapses Analytics, Databricks. All these are the services that we required for a data management. So we have a stream
Yeah.
analytics, analysis service, data explorer, preview for governance, data factory for data injection, and studio to manage the outage. And this one, Fabric is a unified solution for all the. See, this Fabric is offers you the unified platform, single platform to manage all the data services. For example, I'm going to
Yeah.
use the Databricks. Databricks is
Mhm.
the not only the ETL tool, not only the ETL tool. Using Databricks, you can inject the data in, you can analyze the data, transform the data, process the data, and query the data. You can do anything with the Databricks. So it's a
Yeah.
one service that you can do everything on a data management. But we will be having a different requirement, different purpose, so we will be using a different services. For example, now I'm
Yeah.
just going to use this Databricks. It will tell you like
Mhm.
in the Azure Databricks how much, what are the things that you are going to use, how much you will use, which are the future that you will enable. See, once you add, here it will come.
Yeah.
See, all this. See, for example, uh, I need a Databricks. Okay, so here in the
Mhm.
Databricks, we need to create some cluster, because there we will
Yeah.
host Apache Spark. Okay, so
Mhm.
Databricks. See, support included. If you need a support, yes, I need a support. So it's a agreement,
Mhm.
and so here upfront cost is 0. So monthly you will get this much of amount. Monthly you will get this much of amount, because here just we mention this details. Okay, if you want, you
Yeah.
can see. If you want, you can also customize it based on our requirement. You can customize it. See, you can go for a pricing details and you can customize this option. See, all purpose
Mhm.
compute workload, premium tier. So minimum, this is the option, minimum option. So product details,
Mhm.
these are the minimum option. Okay, see, when you go for a pricing, so so using the data service is okay, fine, but we need to optimize that, usage. In order to optimize the usage, we should know the cost, so then only we can able to
Mhm.
use it. Okay, see, so you have a pay as you go model, reserved instance, spot instance. Okay, see, you're going to use all purpose computer, premium, where you're going to use it. These are the regions where that data centers are running. So for example, I'm in India,
Mhm.
then I just need to use that, close to my location, South India. So I just need to pay
Mhm.
Indian rupee monthly or monthly. In monthly, there is a plan, saving plan, 1 year or 2 year. So I will be using this one for 1 year, so that you will get this option. You'll get this. These are the option. So here you can see that, what will be the cost. So based on this one,
Mhm.
you know you can able to use it. Okay, you can able to utilize that services. So for each and every services, you will have option. You can estimate the cost. Okay, based on the cost, then you can able to use it. So for example,
Okay.
see, I have selected only the Databricks. So here I'm going to use, see, I just click on this. So service name is Databricks. So where you are going to run this service, I'm going to use it in India, South India. So what purpose? You need a SQL compute. You need a data live table with a Poton. So these are the workloads. I need all purpose compute,
Mhm.
everything. What is a tier? Standard or premium? So I need a premium. So category, compute optimize, general purpose, memory optimize. So I just need it for general purpose. So instance, I will use only this instance. So maybe D5 instance, D5 instance, 2 CPU, 8 GB RAM, and 110 temporary storage, and this much of Databricks units. Or else you can say 3 version 3. So 4 CPU, 16 GB RAM, 32 GB temporary storage. So depends on that option, we will get this one. And we are not going
Yeah.
to run this Databricks on the specific machine for 730 hours. 730 hours is nothing but, so for example, when you go into this, so 24 into 30, you will get 720 plus. Okay, maybe sometimes we will get that 31 days or something like that. So roughly it is 730 hours. So if you run the
Mhm.
Databricks 24 into 7 for a month, then this will be the
Mhm.
charge. So I know that I will not use it for 730 hours, because per day
Yeah.
I'm using the service for 6 hours and 20 working days. So that 120
Mhm.
hours, 120 I'll use only for 120 hours, and they are giving a plan as well. See, if you're 1 year, I'll be using the same for 1 year, or I'm using the same for
Mhm.
3 years. So if I use the same for 3 years, and I just need to pay this much of amount. If I pay this much of amount,
Mhm.
then I can use it for 3 years. So 45 percentage of savings. So if you go for pay as you go model, and you need to pay Databricks unit as well. So Databricks unit also I'm just using for 120 hours. So you need to pay this much of amount per month. And same way, if you go for 30 days, see, you will be paying only this much of amount, and monthly this much of amount. So that's the difference.
Yeah.
So in total, you'll get this much of amount. So whenever you plan to use that any services, so in Azure we already discussed, we will use ADLS, Azure Data Factory, and you should know how much you will use that. What are the service? What are the features, capabilities that you will use it on Azure Data Factory? Then only you can able to check the cost and optimize the cost. So if you have a budget,
Yeah.
then if you know that the amount prior to that, so that you can able to do some changes and save the cost as well. So instead of serverless pool, you can only go for dedicated SQL pool. Instead of the stream and instead of the just use only Apache Spark, so that you can customize your configuration, customizing the use of services based on the budget that are allocated for you for a month. So, or else if it is open budget and you need to deliver these good service to the customers, then again you can do some kind of optimization by just including the services which you are going to use it for your project, and how much service, what are the features and capabilities that you are using on the particular service when you create a resources, and how much time you will use for a monthly, how much time that you are going to use. If you give every details, then that amount will come. That amount is the rough amount only. So sometimes it will be plus,
Yeah.
sometimes it will be minus, but that will be close to that amount only. So it's very
Yeah.
important for any professional to start work with the Azure platform. So whenever we learn something, whenever we learn some topic on Azure, so we will be as a global administrator, right? Even though we are a global administrator, even though we do have a full access of all the services, and we can create any type of resources with any type of services, and we should know how optimizely, how effectively we will use the service. Effectively, we will create a
Yeah.
resource. We should create a resource only based on our requirement. What? Because this Microsoft Azure says, Microsoft Azure gives a benefit called scalability. Anytime you can scale up and scale down, and you can also configure the automatic scaling as well, right? Based on the usage,
Yeah.
the that capabilities will automatically scale up, and once the usage get decreased, then it automatically scale down. So you just need to understand what exactly that you are going to use, because just like that we can't go and we can just create a resource and you use the resource and use it for your project. You can't do that here. In training it's
Yeah.
fine. Training, you can just go in and start the service, and so once you complete that particular task, what you will do, we will delete it. But in real time we don't
Yeah.
delete, we'll keep on running for the project. So
Yeah.
you should know the amount first, and whether it is matching our budget, then only you can able to proceed it. For that, knowing pricing calculator is very very important. Before we know what are the
Yeah.
services that we will use it for data engineering, as a professional we should know how effectively we will use the service, and effectively we will use the service.
Yeah.
For that we will need a pricing calculator. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Uh,
And
uh,
yeah, tell me,
yeah, I have a doubt.
please.
When we are configuring the hours, right? How much hours we will use. I want to ask, will the clusters being used in the Databricks when like in ADF we have the provision of creating that triggers and jobs, right? Whenever
Mm,
the job runs, means in the middle of the night or
mm.
like in the midnight it runs, then will that cluster automatically get activated and run? Because like then only that script and everything which we have configured in the Databricks will get activated, right? Then only it will run. So every time that script should be run, that cluster should be active, right?
See, it's completely up to you. So assume
Mm-hmm.
that you are running a job. You're working for a enterprise level organization. There are so many
Mm-hmm.
projects and so many ETL will happen. Okay, so
Yeah.
you will keep that the data cluster running all the time, or at least the working time from morning 8 o'clock to evening 7 o'clock, so that, and you can just run the job and then job will get executed. Okay, and you can automate the job as well,
Yeah.
so automatically it will get executed. Assume that you work for a small organization. You will run the job
Mm-hmm.
3 days once or weekly once, because you're working for a
Mm-hmm.
small project and you're working in a small organization. There also you're using a Databricks for transformation, and you
Mm-hmm.
the transformation will happen 2 days once or 3 days once, okay, or weekly once.
Mm-hmm.
So that time it is not good to keep that on cluster in on state always, because it will keep on
Yes.
eat
Yes.
your money, right? So you can
Yeah.
run the script, you can keep the script, either you can do it manually or you can do the automation, Azure automation. Okay, so
Yeah.
once you get the trigger created and you can have automation, that automation, what it will do, once the trigger gets started, so before that, whatever we written on the trigger, execute it. So first it will go and check the cluster. If the cluster is on, then it
Okay.
will execute the trigger and then the process will start it and process will perform, and then it will do a job. And if the cluster is
Mm-hmm.
not started, so first it will start the cluster. Okay, it will wait for some time. It will wait for some time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, it will verify whether the cluster gets started or not. And then it will automatically proceed. So, for that, you can write a script. You can write a script and you can get it execute as a JSON file. And that
Mm-hmm.
way you can able to do. Once the workload completes, okay, and then you can
Yeah.
have a one script. The script will check whether is there a machine is running any workload, or you can have a script and that will automatically close after 5 o'clock. So you can do that. You can
Yeah.
have Azure automation
Okay.
to perform it. So Srijit, like not only for cluster, any
Mm-hmm.
resources that you create with the help of any services,
Mm-hmm.
and if the resource is
Yeah.
running and resource is
Mm-hmm.
on working, and you want the resource
Mm-hmm.
to be resource to get stop resource to get stop on the particular time, you can have automation,
Mm-hmm.
and that orchestration will automatically perform that job and stop that that VM, so that next day
Okay.
you will have another script. Okay, for example, like assume that i I work for an organization, so where I have a 4 or 5 people, and there is an
Mm-hmm.
application, and that application we can't, that's a client application. That application we can't
Mm-hmm.
use it on our company laptop because it's a client application, but we need to use the
Yeah.
client application because we are in project and we support the client, and the client wants to use
Mm-hmm.
that application, but the application will not work in our laptop. So what we do, we have a
Yeah.
one machine created, virtual machine created, one virtual machine. So we log in into that
Yeah.
virtual machine, we'll run the application, we use the application. Once we done with the application, and we will come out of the application and we'll close the virtual machine and we'll start using our personal, our company laptop. Okay, so that time,
Yeah.
and the system knows that you will use that application morning 9 o'clock or 9:30, so that it will start that there is a script, the script will start that application at 9:15, and it will automatically close at 9:45, and same will happen at a night evening time as well, before you leave the job, and it will happen at a same. That also you can able to do anything that you can orchestrate, anything that you can orchestrate,
Yeah.
even you can orchestrate the pipeline, even you can orchestrate the
Yeah.
deletion, you can orchestrate the ETL, You can orchestrate that, specific script to execute, specific SQL script to execute to perform the analysis. Even you can
Yes, yes.
orchestrate the result to be displayed in the Power BI.
Hmm.
Got it?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So since you asked this, maybe once I explain that Synapses Analytics, this
Yeah.
Synapses Analytics, you do a small project. Okay. Of course, I'll
Yeah.
show you a demo. So what we can do with the Synapses Analytics, okay, like copy data or data management, data management and data query. So
Hmm.
you do that as a small project and make it automatic.
Yeah.
Okay, so for example, I
Yeah.
need to run some notebook on the Apache Spark, which is running on the Azure Synapses Analytics. So because
Yeah.
Synapses Analytics can be used for the analytical purpose. It's a data warehouse. You can use it for
Yes.
analytical purpose. You can analyze it there. In order to analyze
Hmm.
using that Synapse Analytics, it needs a compute engine. And three type of compute
Yeah.
engine the Synapse Analytics will support: dedicated SQL pool, serverless SQL pool, Apache Spark. Dedicated SQL pool comes default. Serverless SQL comes default means you cannot change the configuration. It comes default. But I'm running a heavy script, heavy SQL script, and I need to analyze that, analyze that huge data. For that, I have written a
Hmm.
complex query to perform the
Hmm.
analysis. So that time I need that, the
Hmm.
compute engine with a good capability. So dedicated SQL
Yeah.
pool is still is name itself says dedicated, so that it's a default specification is there. It's default. You cannot change it. So you stop the
Hmm.
dedicated SQL pool and you will use a serverless SQL pool, right? So that also
Yeah.
you can do the auto. For what you do that you run the script, you run the workload, okay, and
Yeah.
for that workload it needs the serverless SQL pool and it will give a result to you. So what you do as a
Yeah.
project, so once you start, once you have the query available to execute, okay, so it
Yeah.
need to perform automatically without any human intervention on a specific time. So you can just create
Yeah.
automation says like exact at 4 o'clock. So at 4 o'clock, it will go and check whether that dedicated serverless SQL pool is on or not. If it is not on it.
Yeah.
If it's already on, then again the next job. The next job will get the data in, analyze it, and store the data and go out. So that you can able to automate. I'll explain manually, and you can make that thing work automatically. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll give you one script, or else you can search on internet or something. You will get a script, or you can create a activity flow that will helps that, automation orchestration to automate the task that you do as a project, small
Yeah.
project. Okay,
Yeah.
right. So now you aware of this one, like pricing calculator. We learned the pricing. Okay, then
Yeah.
three. I'm just going to, we are going to discuss the core architecture of Azure. Azure core architecture. Okay, so I'm just going to have this core architecture as a three different layer. One is the management.
Yeah.
Okay, second one is the
Yeah.
security and access. Let's say like access and control. And third one is the management layer, access control layer, and then infrastructure. Okay, so in management layer,
Yeah.
so how we are going to manage it, how we will work on it. Okay, that's a management layer. So in management layer,
yeah,
so you will have a services, and with the services you will create a resources. Okay, so you
yeah,
can create a resource only within the resource group. So
yeah,
only within the resource group, and then you can create any resources. For example, I'm going to create a data engineering workspace. So I should
mm,
create that resource only within the specific resource group. A resource group
yeah,
is not, it's a something called as a container. It's a container,
yeah,
or we can say it's a kind of a room, or it's a folder, or anything you can consider. But officially, it's a container. So why we create
yeah,
a resources within a specific container means, and it is the reason behind that, it helps us to organize that, multiple resources. I have a
yeah,
100 resource, and not all 100 resources for a specific project. I work for 10 projects, so each
yeah,
project will have a specific resources. So if you have that
yeah,
in a specific folder, for example, for a first project, and I'll using a first 10 services, first 10 resources for the project one, second 10 resources for
yeah,
a project two. So if you
yeah,
just organize it, oh, these are the process, these are the resources for this project, so that you can create a group and
mhm,
you can move that resources for the particular project means, it makes you too easy to administrate. It makes easy to administrate it, easy to organize it, easy to manage it. So for that, you must need to create a resource group first. Without a resource group,
yeah,
you cannot create any resources. And in order to create
mhm,
a resource, you need a services. Because with the help of the
yeah,
service only, you will create a resource. So if you
yeah.
want to create a resource group, first you must need to have a subscription.
Subscription.
Okay,
Yeah,
subscription. Without a subscription, you cannot create a resource group. Without a resource group, you cannot use any service to create a resources. Subscription is
yes,
nothing but it is a it will give you a boundary. It will
yeah,
give you what I can do. It will give you a
yeah,
permission. It will give us a space.
mm,
Okay, if you
yeah,
have more, if you are the one managing more than one subscription for your organization, then manage
mhm,
that subscription. We have something called management group.
okay,
Okay, we have something called
yeah,
management group. So management
mhm,
group is a container for multiple subscription. So if you are a
yeah,
global admin, you have a 10 different projects for 10 different clients. So each client, they want us to charge separately. So we will have a
mm,
10 different subscriptions, and we are the
yeah,
global admin for that 10 subscription. And even though we are a global admin, for each and every project, and there will be a project administrator, okay, or service administrator.
yeah,
So, for example, like you are a global admin, and 10
mhm,
projects are there. I'm a owner of one of the project, and you allocate me,
yeah,
you give a permission to me to manage the subscription one only.
yeah,
You can manage the 10 subscription, but since
yeah,
I'm belongs to a particular project, I also need to use a subscription. I also need to create a resources within the subscription. So you give a permission to me to manage that subscription only. So in
yeah,
order to apply policy, in order to provide the access to other users, okay, and in order
yeah,
to manage
yeah,
the multiple subscription and provide the right access to right admin on right subscription, you will have a management group. But if you have,
yeah,
you should create a management group if you have more than one subscription. And if you have only one
yeah,
subscription, and you don't need a management group, because management group
yeah,
is it's used to manage manage the multiple subscription. If you are assigned with the multiple subscription, and if you want to manage
yeah,
it, ensure the compliances and give a proper permission to right people on each and every subscription, on each and every resource groups, then you need a management group. So you can sit on
yeah,
management group and you can continuously monitor what each and every administrator, each and every sub administrator or co-administrator is doing on each and every project. You can govern them, you
yeah,
can check their compliances. So for that, we can have a management group. And
yeah,
if you see my sub thing, see, click on subscription. I do have only one subscription. I do not have multiple subscription. But for this
yeah,
subscription, I am a see access control. I'm
yeah,
j.alagasamy at hotmail.com. See what permission I log in into this. I log in into this portal, and this portal has been assigned with this subscription. Let me check what
yeah,
access I do have it for this subscription. See, I'm a service administrator. I have a full access to all resources in the subscription. That means I'm a
yeah,
global administrator of this subscription. Likewise, you can have a
yeah,
multiple subscription for different projects. See, if
yeah,
I go to management, see, if I go to management group, I do not have the management. See, this is a tenant group one here. So I have one management group, but default, I have created it, but default, you can't see the management group. Okay, but
yeah,
in this management group, see, I have only one subscription. If you have only one
yeah,
subscription, you can directly manage the subscription. You don't need a management group. And when exactly you need a management group is if you have more than one subscription and if you want to govern each and every subscription, whoever using it, okay, so you need a management group.
yeah,
So the first management layer is you need a management group. So management group is a container for to manage the multiple subscription and apply the
yeah,
policy and provide this one. And subscription will ensure the boundary. And resource group is a
yeah,
logical container to manage the resource. And if you have a resource
mhm,
group, you can also apply the life cycle. And this
yeah,
resource is nothing but is a specific service, specific item. So, and it includes
yeah,
in which region it has been created, what is the specification, what is the configuration, that everything that we can able to check it here. So,
yeah,
whenever you create any resource, okay, with the help of any service,
mhm,
you should have a resource group. Okay,
yeah,
you should
mhm,
create a resource group first, but you can create a resource group
mhm,
with subscription. Without subscription, you cannot create any resource group. And if you have more than one
yeah,
subscription, and in order to manage that subscription and give the right permission to right people, and you need a management group so that you can sit on management group as a global admin and you can continuously monitor what each and every admin is doing, the co-administrator are doing. So for example, if you
yeah,
see that, see, I just go and create a data bricks. So I have a service called Databricks. See, or else, see, I have a recent service, Databricks. Otherwise, you can
mhm,
go and click on all service. You can see the categories. And there,
yeah,
I just need to analyze the data. See, you have a big data
mhm,
processing. You have a data lake analytics, data lake storage, Azure data in bricks. And for exploration, not to explore the data, exploring to see the data. And for
yeah,
real-time analytics, okay, real-time analytics, we have
mhm,
workspace, stream analytics, synapses analytics, and here we have a data factory. So for example, this is a service. See,
yeah,
using this service, you can integrate the data with the data factory and you can perform a data integration. And that integration will be easy for you to perform the ETL or ELT. We can't do ETL or ELT with the data factory, but data factory can be used to get the data in. So with that data,
yeah,
with this service, I create a resource. So I click on create
yeah,
and I create resource. See, we need a subscription and we need that resource group. And then you can create the and then you can
yeah,
create the resource. So you can mention who can access it, and then review and create. Then the resource will get created. So you just need a subscription and resource group. And when we need a management group, if you have more than one subscription, you need a management group. Got it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And
So,
whenever,
the,
yeah, please tell
yes,
me.
yes, yes, yes.
You tell me, you tell me.
No, just to check my yeah, just to check my understanding is correct or not. So,
Hmm.
management group. Suppose we have multiple clients, let's say Google, Amazon, and Microsoft. So, for particular client, we bought a subscription.
Hmm.
Suppose like for Microsoft, we bought a subscription, and inside that subscription, like because my organization have different services like software engineering, data engineering, and data science. So I will create a resource group for each of these three groups. So, like one resource group, like data engineering will have, let's say, like resources or services like Databricks, ADF, and ADLS Gen 2. And then second resource group will have for data science specific, like Power BI and other things. And for like software engineering, it will be having like Visual Studio and other things. So, is my understanding correct? Is that like this, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Mm. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hope you're clear, right?
Yes, yes, I'm clear.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So whenever we create any resource group or resource,
Yeah.
okay, and the
Yeah.
resource will run in some place, right? So we use
Yeah.
services. With the help of the services, we create a resource. Okay, fine. But the resource need to be executed somewhere. Okay, that is comes under the infrastructure. So
Yeah.
infrastructure defines, okay, where workloads, where the resources and the workloads run. This management will help you to see, will help you to understand, okay, this management layer or management phase define how
Mhm.
Azure is organized, secured, and controlled. See, it's
Mhm.
subscription, resource group. So only the people will have a permission. So, for example, I am a global administrator. I have a full
Mhm.
access on subscription level. Within the subscription, you can have a multiple resource group. Within a resource group, you can have a multiple resource. So, if and you as a global admin, you can extend the permission to other admin as well. Either you can allow him to manage everything in the subscription, or else you can allow other admin to manage only the particular resource group or particular resource. So for example,
Mhm.
so you have a subscription and you work for a five project, and you have a
Yeah.
five clients, and five resource persons are allocated for the five clients. Okay, so
Yeah.
resource person one will manage the resource group one. Resource person two
Mhm.
will manage the resource group two. So he will not, the resource person one will not allow, you should not allow to manage all the resource groups. He should manage only
Yeah.
first resource group only. Either you can
Mhm.
give a permission for other admins or other user to manage entire subscription. If we get a permission to manage entire subscription, that user or admin can manage all the resource group created under the subscription and all the resources created under each and every resource group. Either either you can give a permission to other admin subscription level or resource group level or resource level. If you give a permission to only the particular resource group, so that that user can manage the resources only in that resource group, he cannot do anything in the other resource group. Or else you need to allow one user to manage only one resource in that resource group, so you can extend the permission for only one resource group only. So that's we will discuss in the this one, the access control layer.
Yeah.
see, this is a okay. So how Azure is organized, secured, and controlled, that we will see. Here defines where resources and workloads exactly run. So for that, we
Mhm.
have a regions.
Yeah.
We have a regions. So regions are, for example, just before we have seen South India, Central India, West US, East
Yeah.
US, West US2, East US2 are the regions. And each and every regions
Yeah.
will have a availability zones, because Microsoft is saying like a, so 99.99% availability. So we will have a
Yeah.
availability zones. Okay. And each and
Mhm.
every zones will have a data centers. And you know
Yeah.
that data centers is the, multiple servers and in a different racks, and all are connected with a
Yeah.
high availability, fault tolerance, and all those things are there. So for
Yeah.
example,
Yeah.
let us take South India, right? So this is a South
Mhm.
Indian region. Okay. And within the
Yeah.
region, minimum, you will have a two availability zones. Okay. And
Yeah.
in one zone, minimum, you have a two data centers. See, here also two
Yeah.
data centers. In one data center, minimum 500 servers, high end 500 servers. See, there will be a rack, okay, server rack.
Yeah.
Each and every rack will have a minimum five servers. This is one server one, server two servers. So when you
Yeah.
select this region, you can select
Mhm.
in which region, in which availability zone. Okay, then you need to create a
Yeah.
resource. If you just select the region, the Azure itself
Mhm.
will automatically select the specific availability zone, specific data
Mhm.
center, specific server rack, and then specific server. In that server, the resource will get created, the resource will run from that server, right? So,
Yeah.
and if you enable the high availability, you can enable the high availability within the data center. If you enable the high availability within the data center, so your resource not only run on one server, it also run on another server in the same data center. If one server
Mhm.
goes down, you have a resource running on another server for continuity. That's a
Yeah.
data center wise high availability. And you can also have a zone wise availability. You can have a your resource, assume that this is a resource, and this resource running on this availability zone, this particular data center, and same way this availability zone, this particular data center. If this data center, this availability zone entirely goes down, still you have this availability zone. Okay. So
Yeah.
either you can ensure the your resource running on same data center but two different servers. If one server goes down,
Yeah.
you have another server. There you can continue and use the service. So that is the uh,
Yeah.
local redundant service. Locally, you implement the redundancy. So you can have a zone
Yeah.
redundant service. So for example, like see, we have a two servers. Here we run one resource. Here we will keep a backup that redundancy of the resource. So this is an active one. If
Mhm.
this is goes down, still you have that same is running. But what will
Yeah.
happen if this entire data center goes down? Of course, even though
Yeah.
you have a high availability, but it is local, so that the business continuity will not be there. Okay. If it is a
Yeah.
less sensitive server or less sensitive resource, you can have the high availability data center wise. If you have more critical, you can
Yeah.
have one. Yeah, yes. You're asking something, Sridhi?
No, no, no. I said
Ah,
yes. Yeah.
okay, okay. So you can have a zone-wise redundant service. So you can have one running here and one running here. Maybe in Chennai, assume
Mhm.
that you're in Chennai, right? Or maybe in Bangalore,
Mhm.
one in what do you say? one in a electronic city, or one within the
Mm-hmm.
inside the city, right? Maybe MG Road or near Koramangala, some places. So
Yeah.
if one zone is
Yeah.
down, and you have a resource available in another zone. Sometimes if
Yeah.
entire zone goes down, entire still you have the resource in the another zone. If entire
Yeah.
region goes down, you can have your resource running on the another region. Okay, another region.
Okay.
But for
Yeah.
every region, there will be a region pair. Okay, every region
Yeah.
there will be a region pair. So if
Mm-hmm.
you go with the region wise redundancy, so you run on one region,
Mm-hmm.
and then the same copy will run on another region as well. That region will be auto
Mm-hmm.
selected by region pair. Every
Okay.
region will have a pair. Okay, for example, South
Mm.
India paired with Central India, or
Yeah.
West US paired with the East US. If anything that you
Yeah.
run on East US, and it have a copy running on the West US as well. So that is called region pair.
Yeah.
Region pair for
Yeah.
region wise clustering, region wise failover clustering. So you have a
Yeah.
region, every region will have minimum two availability zones. Every availability zones minimum two data centers, and one data centers minimum 500 servers. Okay, and for
Mm-hmm.
ensure the high availability region wise, we have a region pair. We have a region pair.
Yeah.
So whenever you create resources, you can decide it whether you want a region wise availability, or zone wise availability, or data center wise availability. You can decide it.
Yeah.
See, let me show you region pairs.
Yeah.
See, Azure region pairs. Okay, so pair
Yeah.
region. See, the north central US paired with the south central US, and south central is paired with the north central, east US, west
Mm.
US, west US to west central US. So, for example, India south, India central. Whatever you create in
Yeah.
central India, it have a mirror image in South India. Whatever you create in South
Yeah.
India,
Yeah.
it have a mirror image in central India. See, we have a region pair. So every region, two regions are paired, and every region will have a availability zone. Every availability zone will have a
Yeah.
data centers. See, here you see
Yeah.
region 1, zone 1, zone 2.
Mm-hmm.
Within the zone 1, you have a data centers. So this is way that infrastructure will run. This is the way the
Yeah.
infrastructure of that things will there. And you have a 60
Mm-hmm.
plus regions are there. 60 plus regions are there. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
60 plus regions are there. Okay, each and every region
Yeah.
will have the availability zones. So for example, see, so you can see central India, so Austria central paired with the Austria central to physical location where exactly this region is there is uh, Canberra. So that's Austria central. And where see it's showing Austria East will have a availability zone support, and Brazil South, and some places they have just started, but they have not gone with the availability zones. Only one region will be there, only one zone will be there. If there is a only one zone,
Yeah.
definitely there will be not a multiple availability zone. So here you can have a list. Okay, and you can
Yeah.
see that number of availability zones and list and all. So why I'm saying it's important, right? So whenever you create any
Mm-hmm.
resource, even for a data management in for a production, and you just need to ensure
Mm-hmm.
that where you are, for example, you are in India, and you need to create
Mm-hmm.
this services resources for the Indian customer. So creating the
Yeah.
resource in an Indian region is it's easier, because the latency will be
Yeah.
there. So if my customers are in India, creating the resources in India is feasible. If my customers
Yeah.
are in Australia, but I create a resource in Indian region, even though I create an Indian region, they have to come to Indian region. So see the latency. All requests will come to Indian region, then all response will go to the Australia. So the latency will be there, the delay will be there.
Yeah.
So you decide, for
Yeah.
example, I work in India, but my customers are in Europe,
Mhm.
and I work for Europe customers, and I'm working on their data only. Even though I'm in India, but my customers are in Europe, the customers will regularly use that resources and the data and everything there. So the you should create the resources only close to their location. So that's what
Yeah.
that's suggestion. Okay, so whenever we
Yeah.
create anything, we should ensure where we are exactly going to run and what type of
Mhm.
availability option that you want to ensure. Whether if that resource is very critical, then you can have in a two
Mhm.
different region. If the resource are
Yeah.
less critical, then you can have it in a one data center, two different servers. You decide
Yeah.
based on the criticality or severity of that particular resource, or criticality of the particular resource, you can decide it. Okay, so
Yeah.
whenever you create any resources, okay, you need the service, and you can create a resource group only within the you can create a resource only within the resource group, and you can create a resource group only. You should have a subscription. If you do not have a subscription, you cannot create a resource group, and you cannot create resources with the help of the service. When you create a resource, and you need to ensure where exactly you are going to run it, where exactly you are going to
Yeah.
store it. That is region. And when you select the region, and you need to see whether your resource needs to be always available. If it is need to be always available, then you can select the region pair, or you can select the availability zone, or you can select the specific data center. Okay, so
Yeah.
region, availability zone, data centers. So those are the infrastructure wise where we exactly run.
Okay.
Okay, infrastructure wise.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Yeah.
access and control. Okay, define
Yeah.
who can access what, who can access what. For that, we have a MS Entra ID. MS Entra
Yeah.
ID. There we create a users, we create a groups. Because if you want to assign some permission for 10 users, you don't need to assign
Yeah.
individually. You can move them into a group and give the permission for the group. And then you will
Yeah.
have a roles. Roles is nothing but it's a list of permissions.
Yeah.
List of permissions. Okay, list of permissions. So you create a user, assign the role to the user. So based on the role assigned for the user, that user will get that permission to access the subscription or specific resource group or resources. So these three are very,
Yeah.
very important. See, we do have a so now I'm creating see, let me go to the MS Entra ID, click on the user. We have only one user, that is J LSM in Hotmail. I'm the one. So I'm the one logging into
Yeah.
that. Only one user. I'm a global administrator. So with that global administrator, I can go to any resource, any services, and I can create any resources. When I create resources, I should select which resource group. I should select the name of that resource, and I should select the where exactly I'm going to run this resource. See, when I create a resource group, it's asking me where exactly. It asks for the region. Okay, see, when
Yeah.
I create a server, see, it is asking me the location, the region. So
Yeah.
I should have the permission. I should get the permission for using the specific service and create a resource. When I create a resource, I should also need a permission to select the specific region. So this is very sorry, I closed it. This is very, very important. After
Yeah.
this, Okay, you need to go resource group, okay, and resource. When you create resource, you need to select where exactly you're going to execute that, create the resource. So these three are
Yeah.
very important. Without these three, you cannot work anything with the Azure platform. You cannot create any services, you cannot work on any services. Right now, as a global administrator, we have a full access so that we can go
Yeah.
and create anything, delete anything, modify anything. You can do anything. But while going into the
Yeah.
production, not only you, multiple people will work on it. Everyone will be working on the same resources, but with the different permissions. So only the global
Yeah.
administrator will create a users, will assign the appropriate permission, assign that access to the specific resources. Only then they will get the access to the resources. Okay,
Yeah.
I hope you got it right.
Yes, yes. Zev, one doubt regarding access and control.
Mhm.
Apart from MS Enter ID and roles, we also have things like IAM and service principles, right? So,
See,
will we cover that also? Yeah.
IAM is nothing but, see, we will say RBAC, role based access control, or IAM, identity and access
IAM.
management.
Yes.
Identity means user, which user getting which access. How we can give access?
Yeah.
By assigning the role. So, for example,
Yeah.
wait, let me open the portal again. I closed it. Let me open the portal again.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me go in. So this is a subscription, right? So who have the
Yeah.
access? Only I have the access. Okay. See, I go into IAM.
Yeah.
So this is also same. See, now I just want to assign some role to someone to manage the subscription. Okay.
Yeah.
So I need you to manage my subscription. So I just need
Yeah.
to assign the role to you. If I want to assign the role to
Yeah.
you, I should create you first. In order to create you,
Yeah.
I need a MS Enter ID. See, for example, I am making you as a reader. That means you can read anything. Okay,
Hmm.
go next. So this is a role. Reader is a role.
Yeah.
If you click on view,
Hmm.
see, these are the list of permission. You can read the domain. You all are read permission. See,
Yeah.
if all services only you will get read permission. See, this many permissions that
Yeah.
you will get. See, 8,800 permissions with this role reader. Because if I assign
Yeah.
reader role, you will get a read permission of every resources. Okay. So
Yeah.
now I select the reader role. Then see, I supposed to select the member. Who is the user?
Yeah.
See, right now we have only one user. So in order to create
Yeah.
you, I need a MS Enter ID. Both are same only. Either you can do it
Yeah.
from MS Entra, or you can do it from a specific subscription, specific resource group, and specific resource as well.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So hope you are clear up to now. Okay, so with that,
Yeah.
already we crossed the time. So already
Yeah.
with that, stop the session and we'll continue. Now you got
Okay.
the basic idea of how this works. Okay, now we can
Yeah.
directly go in and then start the our data services. And before I start the data
Yeah.
services, maybe tomorrow I'll explain you something and I'll share you the recorded stimulated lab. Okay, recorded
Yeah.
stimulated lab. Maybe something you already aware of it. Anyway, I will share the lab. I'll let you know. So knowing those things are very important for a Azure professional, Azure data professional. So I don't want to.
Yeah.
This is not part of the curriculum, but I want you to know it. Okay, I'll not take that much of time.
Hmm.
I'll just explain what it is, and I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
You just play it and understand it. Then that will be easy. That will give
Yeah.
a confidence to you to work on the Azure platform. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
hope it is clear. Yeah, please.
yeah. So yeah. So like what I was asking. So today I need to do the like taking that subscription, right?
Take tomorrow,
With
because today I didn't show any demo, right? So you just do it
yeah, yeah.
tomorrow or do it day after tomorrow, because
Okay.
tomorrow I will explain something else. Okay, that I told
Okay.
something. I'll explain that one today. You would just do it day after tomorrow,
Yeah.
because you will get a one
Okay.
more day extra, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you know. Then you will do it day after tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sure. So these notes I'll get in WhatsApp, right?
Yeah. Now it's yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be using a same notepad only. Okay. So maybe every
Yeah.
week I'll share this notepad file with you. Okay. Whatever we discuss
Yeah.
on the
Okay.
day, I'll share the content in a Teams. At end of the week, I'll share the entire notepad file with you, text file with you.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So there are some common services are there apart from data services, because when we work on the data or managing the data, we should also need to create some other resources for a different purpose. For example, like you need a storage, so you need to create a storage account. Sometimes you need endpoints in order to execute something, so you need to know how to create a VM, virtual machines. Sometimes you will be in a different project, and for each and every project you should create that endpoint to manage the data for a different project. So you will be creating a multiple VMs, and you just need to ensure that the VMs are connected in a network and communicated. So you also need to know the how the network services can be created, and use the network service, and use the network service to make that machines, storages, and other services connected. So these are the essential service category. So first you need to understand the compute service. So those services, it's a category. There are lot many services under the compute category. All the services which requires the computing engine. Here,
Yeah.
the Apache Spark is a example of the compute service, because the Apache Spark needs a compute engine. In order to execute the Apache, in order to run that Apache Spark, you need a compute engine, and because whatever you analyze through the Apache Spark uses the computing engine like a, processor, CPUs, and CPU, RAM, and all those things. So whichever the
Yeah.
services uses the compute engine to make the resource created, all will come under the compute service. Best example, you have VM, Lambda. In SQL, you need to create a SQL server in order to run the database, and you need a database server, and to create a database server we need to offer the compute engine. So that's a SQL. Apache, in order to run the Apache Spark is a service. So when you create a resource in the service, the resource is nothing but is a compute engine, the computing device. There only
Yeah.
you will place your data and use that the compute engine to analyze the data. So those all will come under the
Mhm.
compute service. And apart from that, like of course we have a networking service. This networking service will help us to make the compute service connected, make the compute service connected, and make it communicated. So you need a networking service like a virtual network, virtual network, load balancer, it's need to balance the load. Okay, these are the some of the services under network category. And since you are working on a data and you need to collect the data from the different data sources in enterprise, application generates the data. Usually application one only generates the data. For example, you have an application and you recruit 10 employees and you're adding them into the 10 people and adding them into the you onboard into the employees, you onboard into your platform. So you have an onboarding application there, you will create an account for them. So when you create an account on the application, that account will get saved as a record in the database. So the applications are the one that will be using to create the data, analyze the data, verify the data, see the data, validate the data, modify the data. For everything we need the we need a database, we need application, and applications are binded with the database, applications are connected with the database. So to manage, in order to get the data, because you need to analyze the data, and in order to analyze the data you need to get the data from the application first. The applications used to store the data in the databases, right? And because
Yeah.
you may have multiple different application for a different sales. Assume that you work for an organization where they do a sales, they do manufacture and sell the product. So different product, different team, and different applications. So whenever a customer needs the particular product, that particular sales manager use that application and sell the product to the customers. So every account manager will use a specific application to sell that particular sell their products. So at end of the year, your management needs to know what will be the total sale, average sale, which product sold higher, which product less, and which month which product with a high category, high selling highly sold. So those analysis you need to do. So you cannot do the analysis in the live database, because live database you can analyze, but the live database not only for analyzing and also to insert the data, delete the data, update the data. So the live database will help you to insert it, analyze it, and also, but if you do a high level analysis, okay, then the insert, update,
Mhm.
modify, delete will get disrupted, will get disruption. So to avoid that, and
Mhm.
also you need to you need to get the total sale of the all the products. So you need to get that data from that different databases, correlate it, perform the transformation, and load it into a data warehouse. From the data warehouse, you can do the analysis. If you use a
Yeah.
database, you can insert the data, modify the data, delete the data, and also you can analyze the data. Okay, that database, it's not
Mhm.
only for the analysis. Analysis means you are getting some information out of it that helps you to take a decision, that helps your management to take a decision. But you can say like, Jay, I have a four database and I know the how to write a complex query. I know join statement, join query, and all. So with that, I can write a complex query and then get that actual sales for all the products from the different database. You can do that, but it will take a time. It need to get the data from the relevant data from the different databases and keep it in a one temporary buffer, and there it performs the joins, and then it look for a specific information, it will look for a condition and all. So it will take a time to process the query and get the relevant data, since that database is not only for analysis, also it's performing a insert, update, and modify. So you collect the data, correlate it, transform it, and load it in a data warehouse. In data warehouse, you cannot insert, update, delete, and that will be updated
Mhm.
automatically because of your ETL or ELT. And
Mhm.
when you start performing the analysis, you can do it on the data warehouse, because the data warehouse, it's a correlated data. So that data is mainly for you to analyze it and get the decision out of it. So we do have a database services as well. So we have a SQL database. Directly you can go and create the database. Cosmos,
Mhm.
Cosmos DB, and other. These two are the Microsoft own database services. Both are the SaaS
Mhm.
based. It means a cloud based database service. You don't need to do anything. So, but when you
Yeah.
create a SQL database, it requires the database server to to keep the database, because without database server you cannot run the database. But when you create database, it will ask you to create a database server, but you don't need to manage the database server, and Azure will manage it. You just use the database and create a tables, insert the records, modify it, do anything. So, and apart from that, Azure also supports you to use the other database, other vendor database services like Oracle, MySQL, all the other services. So it also supports for, it also supports for other DB services. Okay, and fourth one,
Yeah.
it's a storage service. Okay, and because you need to store something even in order to keep the database or such any data, or you have an application where you are allowing the user to upload something and keep that data in some location. Whenever he wants, he can download it. Okay, so for that purpose,
Yeah.
even you can extract that data from the different database and correlate it and keep it in a one location, and from the location you can take it for the transformation and then load it into the another location, and then again you can take it for the analysis. So wherever you want to keep the data for analysis, transformation, processing, for all those things you need a storage service. So you
Mhm.
you you have a different type of storages, but you must need to have a storage account. So for example, you have a G drive, Google Drive, and Google Drive is the cloud
Mhm.
native storage. But in order to use that storage, you need an account. With the account is
Yeah.
the key to access the storage. Same way, so you need a storage account, that the latest storage account with the generation version 2. The generation version 2 will support you not only to store the structured data. This generation 2 will
Mhm.
allow you to store the structured data, unstructured data, chat based data, table based data. Even you can enable the encryption for the data, keep the data stored securely. You can configure the access control on a data. So normal storage account will allow you to just to store, but it will not allow you
Mhm.
to encrypt the data, secure the data, provide right access for right users. Okay, other capabilities will not be there. So but in the latest version of the storage account, that is generation 2, that supports you to not only to store, you can keep that you can keep that data stored securely. You can keep that data stored accessible only for the authorized user, and you can keep any type of data, any format, any size. Okay, so the generation 2
Yeah.
is supporting for all those things. So here we can store we can store different type of data. For that we have a different type of storages. Storage account is different than storage. You need a storage account to use the storage. you have the
Yeah.
blob storage, blob or
Yeah.
container storage. Okay, this is one type of storage,
Mhm.
and table storage, queue storage, because queue storage will used you if you have any chat application. Okay, because you will be getting a
Mhm.
multiple data based on the time, so it will come, it have to come on queue one by one. Okay, so we will need a queue
Yes.
storage, and in order to store the file and folder as a file format, because sometimes we need to store the file in a file format, then only we can share that folder so that others can
Yeah.
access that same file as a file. So file storage. In blob or container storage, you can store any type of data, structured and unstructured data. But the table storage, queue storage, file storage will help you to store the structure and semi-structure. You cannot store the unstructured data like database is a structured database
Yeah.
tables, queues, those are the structured, and you have a file with the unknown extension, that all will be the unstructured storage. There is no structure for that. So blob container
Yeah.
will help you to store the unstructured data. Yes, you're saying something.
Yeah. No, no,
Okay,
no. Yeah. I said
but
yes. Yeah.
we don't use this four type of storages for our data engineering. So there is another
Mhm.
service called ADLS, Azure Data Lake Service. Azure Data Lake Service is the upgraded version of upgraded version of Blob storage. Okay, so in blob storage, you can store any type of data with any size, but you cannot
Mhm.
analyze the data while it is in a storage. For example, I need
Mhm.
to analyze the data, means I need to take the data in a temporary buffer and analyze the data from the buffer only. You cannot analyze the data. For example, you see, I have opened my notepad and I'm accessing the data. Okay, the data, see, if you see my
Yeah.
task manager, the data I have, that the notepad.exe opened. What is this? Okay, something. Something is running without my permission. Okay, let's see. Oh, Defender. Okay. Okay, that will say that I see data. See, I have my, you know, performance, I process. I have my notepad file. Okay. See, the no, it's keep on rotating. See, notepad file is there. Okay, so
Yeah.
when I access any application, the application will not execute from the storage. Okay, the application will execute from
Yeah.
the buffer, right? So, but
Yeah.
if you have a blob container and you store that any type of data with any size, and you when you are analyzing that data, so the blob will not help you to analyze. The blob will only help you to store, and also it will help you to store any type of data with any size, with any format, with any extension. But you
Mhm.
need that data to be analyzed from the storage, not to take in any buffer. Because if you have a data with the millions of records, so the data size will be 2 GB, 3 GB, or sometimes 10 GB. And if you want to
Yeah.
search something on that particular file, then assume that you are just taking the 10 GB of data and running on your my RAM. My RAM itself is a 12 GB. And when I access that file, the 10 GB file, my RAM will occupied with the temporary buffer will be occupied with the 10 GB. So the delay will be there. So that's the reason. And for data engineering, it's very important the speed. So that soon you analyze, soon you execute the query, it have to analyze and give the report to you or give the result to you for a decision. So they have upgraded it and they have named as ADLS. ADLS
Yeah.
not only allow you to store any type of data with any format, any size, any file type, also help you to analyze the data from the keep the data in the storage and analyze it, not only to store and also allow you to analyze it from the storage. No need to take the data in a temporary buffer and go for the analysis. No need. That storage
Yeah.
itself will allow you to perform the analysis. That's the reason your all data services will use that data ADLS to store the data, to get the data and use it for the analysis. So these are the
Yeah.
types of storages accounts are there, and apart from that, we have a identity service, identity and security services. Of course, we just need to, secure our access, and we need to assign the permission for right user. So we discussed yesterday, Microsoft Entra ID. There we will create a user and provide that, role for that user to manage the entire subscription or to manage the configuration or to manage the specific resource group, specific resources. So that's also a protection. Okay, that's also a protection. Security service
Yeah.
includes the securing the network security, because this identity protection, it's a it's a concept of giving the proper access, right access to right user on right resource, so that the only the authorized user will be getting appropriate access on the resource. That's different. But I have a network, so who can access the network, who can configure the network? Admin. So I have a identity protection. Only admin can manage the network. That's what identity protection. But whatever passes through the network, because my network through the network will help me to pass the data between that two different resources, right? So from one resource the data is going to another resource. So I need to ensure the data should go securely. So network security, securing the data passes through the network. The previous one, who can access, who can manage the network, who have the authorization to manage the network. That is the identity protection. But and we have a
Yeah.
storage, and in the storage we will store the data, and who will access that storage? That is identity protection. And what data that we will
Mhm.
store, how to store the data securely. Okay, that's we have a data security.
Yeah.
Data security is nothing but encryption. You will configure the encryption. Okay, and storage
Mhm.
security. Okay. So all these capabilities, etc., a lot of capabilities are there. All these capabilities will come under the identity protection and security service, right? And the
Mhm.
last, very important, you just need to monitor. Okay, monitor notification and compliances. Compliances means, for example, Srijit is the global admin. I am
Mhm.
I'm a admin of a particular project only. You have allocated me a specific access. With that access, I can manage anything for my project. Okay, and you need to
Mhm.
keep on govern me. Whatever responsibility given to me, am I following it or not? Because of course that's your job as well. because since you are a global
Yeah.
admin, you have delegated the permission to different people based on their responsibilities. Even though you have
Yeah.
properly delegated, okay, sometimes some people they try to misuse it. That's what the identity thefts are happened in organization. So to avoid that one, so we just need to continuously govern them, monitor them, ensure they are following the permission given to them. So if you follow what responsibility given to you, if you follow what access given to you, that means you are under compliant. You are compliant.
Mhm.
Compliant means someone follows something right. If they follow something right, that person will be a compliant or that environment is compliant. So,
Mhm.
because why they mention the complaints, I need to know if you misuse it or if you are trying to do something which is not allow you to do. So I need to know it and check. So when you try to do something which is not allow you to do, immediately the alert will create, and then you will be fall under non-compliant, and then I will go once non-compliant means it will give a red flag to me on the dashboard, so that I go and check where who is getting a non-compliant, and I will check why you are getting a non-compliant, and I will inquiry you. So I ask you to not to do this one, then why you did it? So I need a justification, because
Mhm.
uh, in organization, of course, we will give a role based access, identity based access,
Yeah.
responsible based access. But even though we provide that responsibility based access, sometimes we may miss to configure something. Okay, if you not properly configure that allow someone to access you, someone, the unauthorized person can access your resource, right? If you not properly configure the
Mhm.
security. So we are not a superman, right? We don't configure everything securely. Yes, we'll try our best to verify every configuration and do all security configuration, but here and there we will miss something. So the unknown person, an unauthorized person, if they get to know it, and they will use the path to get into your network and access the authorized data. So to avoid that one, so we'll keep on monitor the activities, keep on verify whether they are following that rules given to them. So that's what the compliance is. Monitor, notification, compliances, governance,
Yeah.
governance. So this all will come under the another service category. Okay, so these are the six
Yeah.
core categories that we should know. Apart from that, we have a machine learning, analytics, IoT, okay, and different type
Mhm.
of categories are there. So, for example, if you see my screen and when you click on it,
Yeah.
see all services. I just click on this window. There it will take me to the all. So see, I have a compute one, compute service. That's a core compute, database, networking, security, monitor, storage, and governance, security management governance. These are the six
Yeah.
core categories. You
Yeah.
when you use a cloud, when you use cloud, definitely you will run
Mhm.
something. You need a compute engine, you need a storage to store that data, you need a networking to connect it, you need a security to provide the right access. These six are core. Whatever you do on your cloud, you need these six. Okay, but apart from that, we have a
Yeah.
DevOps services, identity services, integration services, migration, networking, mobile services, and analytical services. There we have a lot of services to do analysis. We analyze the data, we analyze that logs on the application, all we can able to do that here. So these are the six core services. In order to make you to understand, to be familiar with these services, Microsoft they introduced that one certification called Azure Fundamentals, to make
Yeah.
an individual who is not aware of anything on Azure, who do not know anything on Azure, or who knows Azure partially, then they have this program, Azure Fundamental Program. I don't want you to take the Azure Fundamental Program, but uh, I have a recorded lab, stimulated lab. I'll share the link with you, just a URL. For that, you don't need a subscription. You just need a laptop with the internet. That's all. Okay. So this is
Yeah.
from the Microsoft only. See, so how to create a virtual machine using GUI, how to create a web application, see blob storage. Of course, this we need. So when you click on
Yeah.
this one, it will take you to the recorded stimulated lab. It is a recorded lab, but it will allow you
Yeah.
to operate it. See, I just play this. It will give me a scenario. See, create a blob storage. Say next, continue, continue. See, this two tasks that we supposed to do: create a storage account and create a blob storage. Blob storage is a type of storage as we discussed. Continue.
Yeah.
See, this is a Azure interface, but every 6 months once they are keep on upgrading the interfaces. Okay, sometimes whatever you
Yeah.
feel here, it will be little slightly, the interface is slightly shows that different. So uh, when and there is an update, then Microsoft will update the interface. Sometimes a particular option will be on top. Maybe now the option will be on second or third. The options will be there, but it will be in a different place. So that you please
Yeah.
ensure it. Okay. See, you
Yeah.
can click on continue. See, it is asking you to create a menu. Click on a storage account. Create a storage account. Create a resource group. Click on name. You don't need to type it anything. Just click. You will see, scroll down, and it is asking for the storage account name and then region, what type of storage you need, whether you want to implement the redundancy. I told you, na, local
Yeah.
redundancy, zone redundancy, geographical redundancy. See, local, geo. Okay, so we need a local redundancy.
Yeah.
Review and create, then create, so that it will create a storage account for you. We use a storage account service to get the storage account created. After that, see, we click on thing. So this is a storage account. There you have a different type of storage. See, container, file share, queue, table. You can click on container. I told you container or blob. It will allow you to store anything. Name of the container,
Yeah.
who can access it. So the container will get created. Then we can upload a file, download the file, see, upload. So the files will get uploaded. So the files will be in any format. The files will be in any format. There is an access tier. Access tier means how frequently we are accessing, because sometimes some data we will access every hour. Some data we don't
Yeah.
access. We will access monthly. So based on how often we access the data, so the performance will be there. Okay, but if you keep a default is the high performance, so the cost will be higher, because some data you will access regularly, some data you will access monthly. So for data that you are accessing monthly, you can put it in a low performance. Okay, because you will use it very often. So that's what the access tier means. Three type of tiers are hot, cold, archive. Hot, cold archive. I'll
Mhm.
explain later. See, you can see
Yeah.
this one. You can see the properties, and then you can go back. See, you can create a file storage, queue storage, table storage, and all those things. And ADLS is there. ADLS means if you have to upgrade your container into ADLS. Okay, so if you enable the hierarchical namespace, there is an option called hierarchical namespace. If you enable that hierarchical namespace for the container will look like a data lake storage. The container will be upgraded into data lake storage. That I'll explain. Okay, so
Yeah.
here this lab will take you 2 hours or 30 minutes. So No need
yeah,
of any subscription, no need of anything, just an internet, that will be fine. See the key wallet. See, I told you, no, RBAC, manage
yeah,
access. You can provide the right access for right user. Okay, tagging. So I'll
yeah,
share this URL with you. So please go through this
yeah,
lab and practice this lab. Okay, just practice this
yeah,
lab. This will helps you a lot. This will give a basic idea to you on other services as well.
yeah,
Okay, this is just Azure
yes.
fundamental. Yes, do you have any question?
No,
All
no.
good.
Yeah,
Okay,
I said
okay,
it.
okay.
Yeah, all good.
Right. And then there is a one more certification called Azure Administrator. That means you know the
Mm-hmm.
basics of Azure. You need to administrate it, right? You need to manage it. See how to
Yeah,
create a virtual machine, how to create a storage, not to create a storage, but they said manage the storage. Create a storage is
yeah,
simple, but managing in the sense means administrating it, and how you can create
yeah.
manage the traffic between the networks, monitor it, backup it. This is again 4 hours of lab. Okay, again the
Mm-hmm.
same way. And you not only use the Azure portal to create any resource, you can use that, I told you, commands as well are available. You can use the commands also.
Yeah,
Okay, so those things are there. Okay, so if you click on this, see manage subscription, and it's a self-recorded stimulated lab, and voiceover is also added there. So a voice will come. Okay, whenever you click on something, and then the voice will come, the
yeah,
voice will explain it to you.
yeah.
Just a minute. So I'll just play.
Welcome to this interactive lab simulation for the lab, manage subscriptions, and RBAC.
I hope you can hear that, the sound from that,
Yeah,
lab, right? So it's a,
yes, yes.
voiceover added lab only. It will help you to easily perform it. So you please practice this.
Yeah,
Maybe tomorrow you take some time, because we have not started with any hands-on. Okay, so you take some time and
yeah,
complete this one, and ask me tomorrow if you have any doubt on any of this lab. I'll explain it. And day after tomorrow
yeah,
complete this one as well, this administration as well,
yeah,
because security, storages, databases, all there here. Even that container
yeah,
services, all there here, that helps you a lot. Not only because you also need to know how to work with other services as well. That's the reason I didn't spend the time to explain in detail. That then it will be a different course. But I need you
yeah,
to go through it. Okay, so I'll be here to
yeah,
explain if you have, because you already familiar with the Azure interface. That's the reason I'm giving straight away to you. Okay, so I'm just
yeah,
giving this URL as well to you. So you complete the Azure
yeah,
fundamental tomorrow and ask me if any doubts. And day after tomorrow complete this administration. For next 2 days complete this one. You will get a fair
yeah,
idea about all the services and how to work with all the services, not only to create a resources with the services, and also you will get a knowledge on managing the core resources like a VMs,
yeah,
networks, databases, storages, create a user and assign the privileges. So those the basics things that every professional to know, that you will get aware of it. Okay,
yeah,
right. So I've shared it. But this lab
yeah,
was recorded some 3 or 4 years before, some 5 years before, but still all the services are there. Okay, but when you work on
yeah,
that service, okay, the interfaces, that the options where you see in the real time, it will be slightly changed. Okay, since they also need to upgrade the interface to make it user friendly, right? So that's the reason they will keep on
yeah,
upgrade, but it will be there. Okay, the option will be there. Instead of in the first place, it may be in the third place or fourth place, or it may be hidden in some other services. That will be there, but definitely the service will be there. Okay, do not worry about that. And
yeah,
when you see like something is not there, and you can search for it. Okay, you can search for it. For example, see, I have this resource group. Okay, I have this watcher. See, this is a resource. See, for example, setting, monitoring, automation. For example, you need a task. You need to perform some task and you don't know where this option is there. You can just go and search here. See, the task will come. Okay, so that way you can get that option.
Yeah.
Okay, so this way you please practice these two tasks and that helps you a lot. And then we'll proceed with the data services. Okay, for data
Yeah.
services, first we are going to start with the data factory, because data factories may people used to say you can use synapses analytics to get the data in. Still you can use Databricks to get the data in, but Databricks is mostly used
Yeah.
for not only to get the data in and also to perform the transformation. Okay, but still,
Yeah.
uh, for example, like see, what do you say that? Uh, we have some product. That product includes all the services, but still for a specific thing we will go for some other product. Of course that will
Yeah.
happen, right? Because for example, like um, I need to eat something. Okay, I need to eat something that will be there in only in KFC. That will be there in KFC
Yeah.
only. But there are a lot of other shops out there to. They are also selling the same product what KFC is selling. But still we are going there. Okay, still we are going there
Yeah.
because maybe they do have some unique things that makes that different. Even though synapses analytics Databricks can help you to do a data injection or data collection, but still people go for a data factory because data factory is dedicatedly designed for the data collection. It includes a lot of
Yeah.
functionalities, capabilities, features that will help you to enhance the data injection. Okay, but for a limited level, you can still use that Synapses and Databricks. So we'll start with the data factory and we will, or else we will start with the Synapses analytics. Okay, Synapses analytics. We'll start with the Synapses analytics and we'll see how we can work with the Synapses analytics because that is one of the analytical tool. So assuming you collect the data, you transform the data, you clean and process the data. Now you need to perform the
Yeah.
analysis. So because I just need to give you that flavor first, and after that we will go into the data collection because the data engineering, the data management is mainly designed to analyze the data. So that let me give that
Yeah.
service first to you. Then after that we will go for a data fund. And then, as I told you, at last you need to do a one complete project. That project will help you to understand all the services. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hope you are clear up to now. Any doubts so far?
No. So, like
Oh,
first we will do Synapse Analytics, and
hmm.
then we will go for data ingestion tool, which is ADF, correct?
First we'll go for Synapses Analytics. Second, Stream
Yes.
Analytics.
Yes.
Okay, there first we
Okay.
will see
Yeah.
ADLS. ADLS, that's a very important thing, right?
Okay.
Without storage, we cannot
Yeah.
do any analytics. Okay, first we will discuss on
Yeah.
ADLS,
Yeah.
Synapses Analytics, Stream Analytics,
Yeah.
Databricks. At
Yeah.
last, we see the Data Factory.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, at last we see the Data Factory. Fine,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Fine.
So already it's now we have 14 minutes to go. But if I start that that ADLS service, it will take me another 40 minutes to explain and then we will proceed with the lab. So I'll continue
Yeah.
the same tomorrow. Meantime you just get this one practiced, and tomorrow we'll start with
Yeah.
the ADLS. Tomorrow I'll complete the ADLS because ADLS is the It's a very important topic, but we can
Yeah.
able to cover that in a one session. That's okay. Okay, tomorrow I'll complete that
Yeah.
ADLS and other types of storages as well. Okay, so maybe
Yeah.
if I need some time and I'll take a day after tomorrow, maybe half an hour of day after tomorrow to complete the ADLS, then we'll start with this Synapse
Yeah.
Analytics.
Yeah.
Okay, so sounds good.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Okay, buddy. Then take care.
Yeah.
So complete it, and I'll see
Yeah.
you same time tomorrow.
Yeah. Jay, this la one doubt is there.
Mhm.
Whatever we develop, right, we will deploy also, right? Will we also teaching that CI/CD using Azure DevOps? Like it will be a short session on like using Git for data engineers, right? How
Srijit,
we do the deployment.
Srijit, whatever I plan to complete, let
Yeah.
me complete it first. Okay, whatever it is in the curriculum, let me complete it first. And if you need something that to be covered, maybe one or two small topics that to be covered, you let me know at last. I'll cover that.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Sure.
Hmm? Hmm? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Srijit, take care. I'll see
Okay,
you.
Jay. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Bye
Yeah.
bye.
See you. Yeah. Bye.